Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about building up the close grip bench press. Uh, Kind of an important topic because a lot of guys out there either have really long arms or they struggle with getting their wide grip bench strong enough due to simply having shoulder issues in the past. And something I've always told guys is that the closed grip bench is easier on your shoulders. It really is. And for me, I find it easier to develop, easier to get strong on. You just have to build brute strength in order to do it because we can't use the same amount of technique and things like that that we do with the wider grip bench. All right, because we can't do a lot of things to decrease the range of motion dramatically. I mean, you can only arch so much. And with a closer grip, you're still going to always have a slightly longer range of motion. So our moment arms tend to change, and particularly for those of us with slightly longer arms. All right, and so to build up a big bench press, if we're doing close grip, it's a little bit of a different beast. But by that same token, building your close grip up can be really, really useful for people who struggle with lockout. Let's say you're a wider grip bencher and you are weak in the top fourth to a third of the movement. Well, building your closed grip bench up will help you do that. It's kind of like Louis Simmons had said, we know that you're getting your closed grip bench stronger will increase your bench press, but how do we get the closed grip bench stronger? And it's a great question. So let's get in and talk about it a little bit. Right up at the front, one of the tools that I like is doing closed grip floor presses. Right, particularly if you're a thicker lifter and you've built a big back. Now, if you haven't built a big, thick back, because people notice that they're like, oh, you touch your chest even on a closed grip floor press. Some of your clients can touch their chest or you're within an inch of it. And yeah, we get thick. So that's kind of one of the first things on the top of the list is getting your lats thick. Getting your lats thick. But also on the closed grip bench, because of the nature of it, if we tuck hard and build big lats, we don't miss immediately at the chest. Okay, your weak point is going to be, usually if you miss, it's either going to be your lockout, which again, a lot of tricep strength will help with, or what is it going to be? Close off the chest, a few inches off your chest, right? 5 inches off your chest. In fact, it will probably most likely be very close to where your floor press is, just in terms of leverages. So if you particularly are struggling with that point and it's not just all lockout stopping you, working on your floor press, your close grip floor pressing will work wonders for that. It'll work wonders for that. So high on the list of priorities. All right, one of the other things, and I'm going to have a few different lifts here in the background going. One of the other things that we need to look at is going to be tendon health and absolute lockout strength. So one of the tools that I really like to use is high rep band press downs with progressive overload. In other words, you can get stronger and stronger and stronger at those press downs, right? We can get stronger at those. We don't need to do the press downs and just go, oh, well, that's it, I've done some high rep ones and just keep the bands the same forever or keep the reps the same. No, we try to progress on reps, try to progress on heavier bands, or you guys will see me using, kind of the pulled over the top, I think in this one, so that they're more difficult, and a band in each hand. And using a variety of bands to get there will benefit you. So something I like to do. So what does this do for us? Well, because with closer grip benching, we're less likely to get shoulder inflammation, but we're more likely to get elbow inflammation, right? Elbow tendons. Well, it's kind of a big deal. And the same thing, a lot of the exercises like skull crushers or JM presses that we might do to build our triceps tend to be hard on the elbow joint. So getting in and doing large amounts of band press downs would behoove you, right? And when I say large amounts of them, I really do mean that. I mean, we could really get in and do some high volumes with this. Wouldn't be a bad idea, right? Wouldn't be a bad idea at all. In fact, I would say it's a pretty good idea. So, high rep band press downs. And incidentally, what will they do? They'll help you the most at your lockout. So they kind of kill two birds with one stone. Because there's accommodating resistance and they become most difficult at the point of peak contraction, they teach you to accelerate through the lockout with the triceps. They teach the triceps to continue a high rate of force production. Like you guys see me doing them pretty fast there. High rate of force production all the way to that point, right? We get to that lockout. What you guys see here, I've been doing tons and tons of those, and watch what happens when I do this 365 close grip. All right, we just smash right through the lockout. Because I did all that band work, it helped. And notice that I'm not always saying, hey, we need a bunch of bands and chains and things. Well, we might, because I do speed work against bands pretty frequently. That will help there as well. And I really may not even have room for that in the video. But up next is to just do close grip benching itself. Right? Doing supplemental work with our close grip benching will help. Come in and do a little bit of volume with it, some sets of 10. All right? Do them paused. Right? Make sure they're mostly meat legal. And you know, I do touch and go a little on some of them, but I try to come to a pause on most of it. But again, it'll help you get there. It can be beneficial to you. All right? Something worth doing. Lots of close grip bench work. And then what we also need to be considering is that because it's slightly more tricep dominant, you're going to have to overdevelop your triceps. You're going to need to do large amounts of tricep work. And I don't care what you choose, but you also need some movements that really lengthen the tricep. They put you into that lengthening position. And in this case, you guys will see me coming up here, I'm doing skull crushers. Right? We're getting into that lengthening position. Maximizes hypertrophy. Right? It maximizes hypertrophy, particularly of even the long head, which doesn't get used a lot till we get really, really heavy on benching. And it teaches us to be stronger out of the bottom. Because again, thinking about how dominant triceps tend to be in the close grip bench, keep in mind it's still a front delt and pec exercise. But we need the triceps to be working hard out of the bottom also. And if we develop those positions as well, the muscle fibers associated with that are going to grow with getting you out of the bottom. Because again, people tend to think of with triceps, they're like, oh, it's just lockout, but that's not true. That's not true at all. And particularly if we're going to have a closer grip, the closer our grip gets, the more important triceps become even to the bottom of the movement. And it becomes important to develop that long head a bit, right? That long head actually does matter, particularly in a lengthened position, for driving that close grip bench even off the chest. It's important. So we need to spend some time developing it. It would also be a good idea. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.